welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha Pop. I'm a social media strategist and content creator for small business owners looking to grow their brand online. And today I have something fun. So I have a post from Andy Mewborn from LinkedIn, and I absolutely love this post. I need to share it with you because it is 13 reasons why you should build a personal brand. And listen, personal brands are so valuable. So I'm excited to dive into this with you and why you should be building yourself a personal brand online if you haven't already, or if you've kind of been on it a little bit stagnant. Let's revitalize that and let's get into it. So number one is personal branding has always been unappreciated as a mechanism to drive career growth, business growth, and everything in between. It's a spoken secret to success in the digital age, and this is why. Number two, personal branding improves your skills. So it gives you a platform to share your thoughts, share your ideas, share your opinions, condense your ideas, provide value at scale. Here's what I mean, and I'm quoting him on this. So number three, when I started writing online, it took me 3 hours to write one post. I used to be the same. I would spend so long trying to make a post and thinking, oh, it has to be perfect and this isn't good enough. And he says a few years later, I can write 10 pieces of content in 1 hour. Now I'm similar to him where I can write content a lot faster. The more you do something, just like when you work out, I always come back to fitness analogies because I used to be a personal trainer and nutrition coach. When you work a muscle, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, right? So the more you work at a skill, the better that you're going to get at it and the faster you're going to get at it, right? So he says, now here's where it gets interesting. Number four, personal branding cascades into other parts of your professional life. Your ideas can now be clearly communicated on stage, the boardroom, when pitching a client. And there's a hugely important lesson here. Number five, when people think of personal branding, they think of it as a popularity contest. And I agree. I've heard this from other people, and I disagree. I don't really think it's all about a personality contest or a popularity contest. And he said, but the reality, it's a personal development pursuit. And it is. This is the part people don't talk about. So what can we learn? Number six, business is all about buying from other people, right? Whether you're in a B2C or B2B, you're a P2P or P2P. So instead of it being business to client or customer or business to business, you're a person to person. Getting into business with anyone, and I can't remember who I heard from this online, but they called it's a P2P. You're a person to person. And the old saying goes, people buy from people. Just like this, I wish I could remember who said it on LinkedIn, but I'm like, that's genius. P2P is ultimately what it's all about. Doesn't matter if you're B2C or B2B. And the other psychological factor that's in play with personal branding is the idea of social proofing. Here's what I mean. Number seven, personal branding allows people to clap for you in the digital world with likes, comments, and shares. The world and conversation is revolving around you. There's social validation that's reinforcing to the reader that you know what you're talking about. Let's dig in. Number eight, people are wrong to look at personal branding as a popularity contest. I agree. You should be looking at it as a social proofing validation. Yes. A reputation building exercise. Yes. And here's where it gets fun. Number nine, social media platforms have made reputation scalable. And yes, like look at TikTok. That is probably the best example you can look at. Instagram is kind of one step behind, and then Facebook is lower on the end just because not a lot of people use it for that kind of content, but it's not like you can't still use it. And LinkedIn is coming up as well. You're more likely to be able to share about your personal life. I remember when LinkedIn was all about business, and now I'm seeing lots of posts about people sharing from their personal life, lessons that they've learned, how they got into the industry, like sharing things about them. And that's all about personal branding. And I love it. We need to see more about this on LinkedIn so you can build a personable connection with someone. And so he goes on to say, once upon a time, the only platform to extend your voice were owned by big businesses. You had to get it in the newspaper. You had to get it on radio. And now we have this democratized media platform. Here's what I mean. Number 10, we are all publishers. I remember when I was little, I wanted to be a writer and I wanted to be a published author. And with traditional publishing, it is very hard to get into. It's almost impossible unless you have an agent. And even then, sometimes it feels almost impossible to get a book deal with traditional publishers. Now, things are completely different. I had my own podcast and I published on multiple different platforms to reach my audience and to get my voice out there to reach more people. I was a publisher as a podcaster. And he goes on to say, whether we want to admit it or not, and every person reading this has a personal brand, even if they think that they don't. 0 followers does not equal 0 personal brand. And I agree. So he says, let's dig in. Number 11, your LinkedIn page is a personal brand. The way you conduct yourself on Instagram, your Facebook page, on Twitter is all a part of your digital reputation. That's what personal branding is, digital reputation. And here's the funny part, number 12. If I asked you how important reputation as you would tell me, it's incredibly important for personal relationships, business relationships, sales. You'd say it was everything because people buy from people. And there's a hugely important lesson here. Number 13, personal branding is digital reputation. One that you have control over, one that you can curate, one that you can design, and one that can scale to millions of people. Now you can apply this mindset to any platform. It doesn't matter if it's Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. It's all about being able to scale your reputation online. So he continues to say here, and this is all advice from him except my little bits and pieces here and there. But he says, from here on, it's time to stop reading and start building. But knowing how to get started can be incredibly overwhelming too. Here's one thing that helped me stay consistent over 2+ years. Give yourself permission to create junk. Now, onward to building, my friends. And I love that. I love that because there's been some videos I've made that are absolutely garbage, or they weren't very good, or, people didn't really like them. But that's how you get better, is you start recording yourself, or you start making posts and you start creating content, and you are going to have some doozies. You're also going to have some posts that do really well. It's just, you have to start doing it. So I absolutely love this. What do you think about having a personal brand? Do you have one? Have you been skittish about starting your personal brand online, whatever platform that is? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you.